Virtual Private Network VPN. Recently, the central government has asked virtual private network VPN companies to keep a record of their logs of customer information as directed by Indian Computer Emergency Response Team CERT-IN. About CERT-IN guidelines. New directives by CERT-IN under Information Technology Act 2000 state that all cloud service and VPN providers to maintain a series of extensive customer information for at least 5 years, even after cancellation or withdrawal of the registration. Data center companies and cryptocurrency exchanges are also asked to collect and store user data. Indian Computer Emergency Response Team CERT-IN about a functional organization of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology that acts as national nodal agency for responding to computer security incidents. Objectives: Information Technology Amendment Act 2008 designated CERT-IN for collection, analysis and dissemination of information on cyber incidents, forecast and alerts of cyber security incidents, coordination of cyber incidents response activities, issue guidelines, advisories, response reporting, etc. of cyber incidents. Virtual private network, what is it? VPN is an encrypted connection over the internet from a device to a network in real time. Types of VPN: Secure Sockets Layer SSL VPN, Site to Site VPN, Client to Server VPN. Secure Sockets Layer SSL VPN. It enables individual users to access an organization's network and client server applications without the need for specialized software. Site to Site VPN, a private network designed to hide private intranets and allow users of these secure networks to access each other's resources. Client to Server VPN, user is not connected to the internet via his own ISP, internet service provider, but establishing a direct connection through VPN provider. ISP means internet service provider. Benefits of using a VPN: encryption of IP address and protocols prevents third parties from gaining access to confidential information. Issues associated with using a VPN: jurisdiction, the country where your VPN is located affects how secure your VPN is. Data leaks and cyber security issues. Darknet, why in news? Germany has shut down Russia-linked Hydra Market, considered as the world's biggest and oldest darknet marketplace of illegal items and services. About Darknet, also known as Dark Web, it is that part of the internet which cannot be accessed through traditional search engines like Google, nor is it accessible by normal browsers like Chrome or Safari. It generally uses non-standard communication protocols which make it inaccessible to internet service provider, ISPs or government authorities. Content on Darknet is encrypted and requires a specific browser such as TiVo or the Onion Ring to access those pages. Darknet itself is only a part of the deep web, which includes sites that are protected by passwords. Part of the internet that is readily available and searchable on standard search engines is called as surface web. Application used by journalists and citizens working in oppressive regimes to communicate without any government censorship. Researchers and students to do research on sensitive topics, law enforcement agencies, etc. Concerns over its use. Anonymity have for illicit activity. Anonymity have for heaven for illicit activity, privacy and ethical concerns, drug dealing, communication by terrorists, etc. Darknet itself is only a part of the deep web. Artificial intelligence. What is AI? Why is in news? Recently, tech companies around the world are harnessing generative AI for various use cases. More about news. There has been increasing popularity of generative AI programs such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, Google's Bard AI, DAL-E, Codex, GPT-3, etc. These programs are a conversational AI language based on deep learning model built on the transformer architecture. It uses a deep neural network and is trained on corpus of text data from the internet, allowing it to generate human like text and to perform various tasks like question answering and conservation. Generative artificial intelligence AI describes algorithms that can be used to create new content like audio, code, images, text, simulations, and videos, achieved by training machine learning models on large amounts of data using neural networks and then using these models to generate new synthetic data like already existing data. Prominent framework Prominent frameworks or models of generative AI like generative adversarial networks GANs, transformer based models, and variational autoencoders VAEs. What is AI? Field of computer science that focuses on the creation of intelligent machines that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence like visual perception, speech recognition, and language translation. Enable computers to learn from experience, adjust to new inputs, and perform human-like tasks. Types of AI: artificial narrow intelligence or weak AI, ability of a computer system to outperform humans in a narrowly defined task. Artificial general intelligence, also called strong or human level AI, ability of a computer systems to outperform humans in any intellectual task. Artificial super intelligence, computer system that would outperform humans in almost every field including scientific creativity, general wisdom, and social skills. Applications of artificial intelligence: automobiles, manufacturing, gaming, government, healthcare, finance, education, business. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, artificial neural networks ANN, deep learning. Artificial intelligence AI, any techniques that enable machines to solve a task in a way that like humans do. Machine learning means algorithms that allow computers to learn from examples without being explicitly programmed. Artificial neural networks, brain inspired machine learning models. Deep learning, a subset of ML which uses deep artificial neural networks as models and automatically builds a hierarchy of data representations. Related news: language models for dialogue applications, LAMDA. Lambda, language models for dialogue applications. Lambda is a machine learning language model created by Google as a chatbot that is supposed to mimic humans in conversation. Like BERT, GPT-3, and other language models, Lambda is built on Transformer, a neural network architecture that Google invented and open sourced in 2017. It is designed to be able to engage in free flowing conversations about virtually endless number of topics. Global Partnership on AI, GPAI, Global Partnership on AI. Why in news? India took over the chair of global partnership on AI GPA from France. Related news: Responsible AI for Youth 2022. National E-Governance Division of Ministry of Electronics and IT in collaboration with Intel India launched Responsible AI for Youth 2022 program. Program is aimed at enabling school students with artificial intelligence skills in an inclusive manner through exclusive hands-on learning and mentorship opportunities. It is open to all school students studying in classes 8 to 12 across India. 4D printing. 4D printing. Why in news? In recent years, 4D printing technology has enhanced the potential of cancer therapeutics, such as surgery, hyperthermia, chemotherapy, therapeutic devices, etc. About 4D printing: a renovation of 3D printing wherein special materials is used to print objects that change shape post production. Need stimuli or triggers to start transformation such as moisture, temperature, light, electrical current, stress, pH, etc. Materials used: hydrogels, thermoresponsive, photo and magneto-responsive, piezoelectric materials, pH responsive, etc. Properties: self-assembly, self-adaptability, self-healing, shape memory, self-captability, etc. Printing techniques: similar to ones used in 3D such as fused deposition modeling, jet 3D printing, selective laser melting, direct link writing, electron beam melting, etc. Applications: medical, biotechnology, robotics, automobiles, aerospace, textiles, flexible electronics, construction, etc. Related concept: adaptive manufacturing or 3D printing. Technology that constructs a three-dimensional object from a digital 3D model or a computer-aided design model by adding material layer by layer. 3D printing is the opposite of subtractive traditional manufacturing, which is cutting out or hollowing out a piece of metal or plastic with, for instance, a milling machine. It allows creation of lighter, more complex designs that are too difficult or too expensive to build using traditional dice milling and machining. Quantum Key Distribution (QKD). Bengaluru based startup QNU Labs recently innovated advanced secured communication through quantum key distribution systems. More about news. Developed by QNU Labs under Aegis of Innovation for Defense Excellence (IDEX). IDEX is the operational framework of Defense Innovation Organization (DIO), a special purpose vehicle under Ministry of Defense. Objectives of IDEX: to create an ecosystem to foster innovation, entrepreneurship and technology development, specifically in defense and aerospace sector. About quantum technology: quantum technology seeks to harness laws of quantum physics which describe the behavior of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic level. This is unlike classical physics, in which an object can exist in one place at one time. Example: classical computer operate using binary physical state 1 and 0. Quantum computing. Potential applications of quantum technology. Potential application of quantum technology: quantum computing, quantum simulation, quantum communication, quantum sensing and metrology. Know the term. Superposition: ability of a quantum particle to be in multiple states at the same time until it is measured. Entanglement: a situation is in which two or more quantum particles are linked in such a way that is impossible for them to be described independently, but measurements from one particle can be used to instantly draw conclusions about the others. How quantum key distribution works. Sender instructs satellite to generate two entangled photons and of a particular quantum state. Photons are beamed to both ground stations. Encrypted data can then be sent securely via conventional means. Sender and receiver compare the quantum states of the photons to check if they have been intercepted. If not, they use the photons to create a code to encrypt the data. Related news: Quantum Internet. Researchers have successfully telereported quantum information across a basic network. Quantum Internet, based on the theoretical use of quantum computers to construct a new kind of network. In contrast to traditional Internet, which operates through the use of binary signals represented by zeros or ones in data packets, Quantum Internet would utilize quantum bits or qubits to encode information as zeros, ones, or both at the same time. About quantum key distribution (QKD). QKD is a secure communication technology that uses quantum physics to construct a cryptogenic protocol. It allows two parties to generate a shared secret key that can be used to encrypt and decrypt messages. In traditional cryptography, security is usually because an adversary is unable to solve a certain mathematical problem, while in QKD, security is achieved through laws of quantum physics. Two such laws are superposition and entanglement. Extended reality. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Startup Hub and Meta collaborate to accelerate XR technology startups in India. XR means extended reality, AR augmented reality, MR mixed reality, VR virtual reality. XR extended reality, collective term applied to immersive experiences incorporating various degrees of digital and real information. Potential applications of XR extended reality: medicine, train surgeons by enabling interaction with 3D images; entertainment and gaming industry, sharper simulation and analysis of engineering and manufacturing design; educational applications via augmented reality; aid remote work. Augmented reality, user views static digital information or visual elements integrated into the real environment. MR mixed reality, user interacts with responsive virtual elements integrated into the real environment. VR, user is immersed in an interactive digitally generated environment. Dark matter, why in use? A test run on LZ detector in US has shown it to be the most sensitive dark matter detector yet created. About dark matter, visible universe including Earth, Sun, other stars and galaxies is made of protons, neutrons and electrons bundled together into atoms. This ordinary matter, also called baryonic, makes up less than 5% of the mass of universe. Rest of the universe appears to be made of a mysterious invisible substance called dark matter minus 25%, and a force that repels gravity known as dark energy minus 70%. Dark energy is the name given to mysterious force that causing the rate of expansion of our universe to accelerate over time rather than to slow down. Unlike normal matter, dark matter does not interact with electromagnetic force. This means it does not absorb, reflect or emit light, making it extremely harder to spot. Scientists study dark matter by looking at the effects it has on visible objects. It is believed that dark matter is what give galaxies extra mass, generating extra gravity they need to stay intact. About dark energy, universe has been known to be expanding a consequence of the Big Bang about 14 billion years ago. Dark energy was first hypothesized by Albert Einstein in 1917 and was represented by a term, the cosmological constant. However, he later rejected the idea of a cosmological constant. Subsequently, direct evidence for the existence of this component, which was dubbed dark energy, was first presented in 1998. It was discovered that this expansion is accelerating. Nobel Prize in Physics 2011 was awarded to Saul Perlmutter, Brian Schmidt, and Adam Rice for this discovery. Dark energy is the name given to the mysterious force that causing the rate of expansion of universe to accelerate over time. Earth records shortest day. According to a report, 29 July 2022 has set the record for the shortest day, as Earth completed a full spin in 1.59 milliseconds, less than its standard 24 hours. About Chandler bobble, it is change in the spin of Earth as it rotates on its axis, much as a toy top wobble as it spin. Discovered by Seth Carlo Chandler in 1890s. Time period to complete one wobble around 433 days. Wobble amounts to about 20 feet at the North Pole. Possible causes: fluctuating pressure on the bottom of the ocean caused by temperature and salinity changes and wind driven changes in circulation of the oceans. Food Safety and Standards Authority of India released the State Food Safety Index SFSI 2021 to 22. About State Food Safety Index, released annually since its inception 2018 to 19. Aim: encouraging states and UTs to establish proper food safety ecosystem in their jurisdiction. Finding of Food Safety Index 21 to 22. 2021 to 2022. Top ranking large states: Tamil Nadu followed by Gujarat and Maharashtra. Top ranking small states: Goa followed by Manipur and Sikkim. Top ranking UTs: Jammu and Kashmir followed by Delhi and Chandigarh. Food Safety and Standards Authority of India FSSAI, established under Administration, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, for laying down science-based standards for articles of food to ensure safe food for human consumption. Concerned law: Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 mandate laying down mechanisms and guidelines for accreditation for certification bodies, provide scientific advice and technical support to central government and state governments, collect data regarding food consumption, incidence and prevalence of biological risk, identification of emerging risks, and introduction of rapid alert system, contribute to the development of international technique standards for food, sanitary and phytosanitary standards. Rice fortification. Recently, the Department of Food and Public Distribution has issued Standard Operating Procedure SOP to maintain desired quality standards for implementation of rice fortification. About Standard Operating Procedure aim to address malnutrition, anemia and micronutrients deficiencies. SOP in brief: rice specification: milled rice in which fortified rice kernels FRK will be blended should comply with rice specification as per food safety standards, food product standards and food additives regulations 2011. Packaging of fortified food takes into consideration the nature of fortificant added and its effect on the shelf life of such food. Fortified food package shall contain fortified with the name of the fortificant and the plus F logo on its label. It may also carry a tagline Sampurna Poshan Swasth Jeevan under the logo. Food fortified with iron shall carry a warning statement for people with thalassemia. About food fortification, deliberately increasing the content of essential micronutrients in a food to improve the nutritional quality of food and to provide public health benefit with minimal risk to health. Regulation under food safety standards, fortification of foods regulation 2018. Fortified food means a food is specified under the FSSAI regulation 2011 that has undergone the process of fortification as per the provisions of these regulations. In India, wheat flour and rice are fortified with iron, vitamin B12 and folic acid, milk and edible oil with vitamins A and D, and double fortified salt with iodine and iron. About fortification, it is a process of adding micronutrients to rice. Rice, when fortified, shall contain mandatory micronutrients iron, folic acid, and vitamin B12 are optional. Zinc, vitamin A, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and pyridoxine as per levels given by Food Safety and Standards, Fortification of Foods, Regulations 2018. According to the FSSAI norms, fortified rice shall contain iron, folic acid, and vitamin B12. In addition, rice may also be fortified with micronutrients such as zinc, vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin B12, vitamin B3, and vitamin B6. Technologies to add micronutrients to regular rice. Dusting adds micronutrients onto the surface of the rice grains using electrostatic force. This technology provides limited nutrient protection when rice is washed, soaked, or cooked in excess water, which is then discarded. Coating and extrusion, it is two-step process. First, coating or extrusion technology is used to produce fortified kernels, and second, the fortified kernels are blended with non-fortified rice at a ratio of 0.5 to 2%. In India, rice is fortified using extrusion technology, in which milled rice is pulverized and mixed with a premix containing vitamins and minerals. FRK is added to traditional rice in ratio ranging from 1:50 to 1:200. Oral rehydration solution. Dr. Dilip Mahalanobis, who pioneered the proper practical emergency use of oral rehydrated solution, commonly known as its abbreviation ORS, for diarrheal disease, passed away recently. More on news. Dr. Dilip Mahalanobis was working in refugee camps during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War when he came up with ORS. In 2002, Dr. Dilip Mahalanobis, along with Dr. Nathaniel F. Pierce, was awarded the Pauline Prize by Columbia University, considered the equivalent of Nobel in pediatrics. About oral rehydration salts. ORS are a mixture of electrolytes, salts, and carbohydrates in the form of sugar dissolved in water. They are used to replace salts and water that the body loses during dehydration caused by gastroenteritis, diarrhea, or vomiting. The electrolytes are potassium and sodium. These components maximize fluid absorption in the gastrointestinal tract. The gastrointestinal tract relies on sodium glucose contransporters SGLTs, which are carrier proteins in the intestinal cells. Co-transporters help sodium to glucose co-transporters SGLTs, which are carrier proteins in the intestinal cells. Co-transporters help move substance across membranes. Specifically, SGLTs pair together sodium and glucose transport in the small intestine. This allows glucose to increase the absorption of fluids. Additionally, sodium needs glucose to be properly absorbed. Therefore, ORS contains both glucose and sodium. Since 1975, the WHO and UNICEF have used ORS to treat dehydration due to diarrhea. It is commonly used in countries with limited access to clean water or other hydration options. Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose, J.C. Bose. Ministry of Culture organized an international conference on the occasion of 164th birth anniversary of the Indian scientist Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose, J.C. Bose. About J.C. Bose, 1858 to 1937. He was an Indian physicist and plant uh, physiologist. He founded the Bose Institute in 1917, Asia's first modern research center which focused on interdisciplinary research. It became an autonomous grant in aid institution of the Department of Science and Technology. He was the first Asian to be awarded a US patent in 1904 and first Asian along with Srinivasa Ramanujan to become the fellows of the Royal Society FRS in 1920. He was the president of the 14th session of the Indian Science Congress in 1927. Contributions of Acharya J.C. Bose. Researched on millimeter waves spectrum band with wavelength between 10 mm and 1 mm and in the arena of microwave devices. Presently, millimeter wave is used for a variety of services on mobile and wireless networks as it enables higher data rates. Developed world's first wireless communication link at 5 mm wavelength using a spark transmitter, generates radio waves by means of electric spark, and a spiral coherer, an instrument that detects radio waves as the receiver. Bose coherer was used by Guglielmo Marconi to build an operational two-way radio. An operational two-way radio called father of radio science. Acharya J.C. Bose called father of radio science as he first explained science behind radio technology. Contribution in biology. He researched the seasonal effect on plants and effects of chemical inhibitors, substances which slow down chemical reactions and temperatures on plants. He invented a crescograph to study plants, proved that plants have life and a sensitive nervous system. Biophysics and cybernetics. His measurements of the effect of electromagnetic radiation on plant growth is becoming an important area of plant biophysics and cybernetics. Crescograph. Bose invented the instrument crescograph, which demonstrated the minute movements of plants subjected to external stimuli and measure their rate of growth. It can detect movements as small as 1 by 1 lakh of an inch. J.C. Bose is also regarded as the first science fiction writer in Bengali. He authored Nirudeshwar Kahani, The Story of the Missing One, 1896, which was one of first works in Bengali science fiction. He also published Pola Talk Tufan. In this story, J.C. Bose used the literary instrument called magic realism to challenge Western knowledge. He showed that the living cells under the innermost layer of the cortex and outer layer of a stem or root in a vascular plant were in a state of pulsatory motion like rhythmic beating of the heart. This pulsation caused the pumping of water from cell to cell in an upward direction. In this field, his two major works include response in the living and non-living and the nervous mechanism of plants. Radio Frequency Identification RFID. Delhi Airport has become the first Indian airport to introduce radio frequency identification RFID enabled tag to track check-in luggage. Various types of wireless technologies. About a wireless system comprised of two components, tags and readers. Radio frequency identification RFID. Working range. Read distance depends upon the frequency ranging from 300 gigahertz to as low as 9 kilohertz used. Other key information do not require a direct line of sight to be read. Data stored in an RFID tag can be updated in real time. Require a line of sight. Quick response QR code. A two-dimensional version of a barcode that can be read easily by a digital device. Ideal scanning size to distance ratio is 1:10. Require a line of sight to scan. No real-time tracking. Near field communication technology. A short range wireless connectivity technology that allows NFC enabled devices to communicate with each other and transfer information quickly and easily with a sign touch. Transfer information quickly and easily with a single touch. NFC enabled device must be either physically touching or within a few centimeters from each other for data transfer. India Stack Knowledge Exchange 2022 held recently. More on news. Earlier, India also launched India Stack Global, a single repository of all projects on India Stack. India Stack Global allows to contribute towards the global digital public goods repository. About India Stack, a collection of open APIs and digital public goods. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It allows two applications to talk to each other. India Stack includes APIs of Aadhaar, Unified Payment Interface UPI, CoWIN, DigiLocker, Arogya Setu, eSanjeevani, Umang, Diksha, etc. Aim to unlock the economic opportunities to identify data and payments at population scale. Facial recognition system. First phase of facial recognition system FRS is planned at Kolkata, Varanasi, Pune, Vijayawada, Bangalore, Delhi and Hyderabad airports by March 2023. More on news. FRS is part of the Digi Yatra initiative, Ministry of Civil Aviation, to promote seamless and hassle-free experience at airports and simultaneously improving the security. Government is looking to make ticket booking, airport entry and boarding pass security check-in digital. Digi Yatra Foundation has been set up as a joint venture company for creating the Digi Yatra central ecosystem. About facial recognition system, FRS is a way of identifying or confirming an individual's identity using their face. It can be used to identify people in photos, videos or in real time. Computer algorithms map unique facial landmarks such as shape of cheekbones, contours of lips, etc. and convert these into a numerical code termed a face print. For verification or identification, system compares face print generated with a large existing database of face prints. How facial recognition system works: capturing and scanning. Number 2, extracting facial data. Number 3, comparing database. Number 4, matching and identifying. Applications of facial recognition systems: automated processing at checkpoints like entry point security check, etc. Facilitate facilitates crime investigation and provide information for easier and faster analysis. Identification of criminals, missing children or persons, unidentified dead bodies, etc. Concerns against use of facial recognition system can be used for state sponsored mass surveillance. Privacy concerns, potential violation of due process in absence of a data protection law. Four technology layers of India stack: presenceless layer, paperless layer, cashless layer, consent layer. Satellite communication. Recently, TRAI releases recommendations on licensing framework for establishing and operating for Satellite Earth Station Gateway (SESG). More about the news. SESG, also known as Gateway Hub, acts as a bridge between space-based communication network and terrestrial communication network. It houses the equipment that convert a radio frequency (RF) signal to an internet protocol IP signal for terrestrial connectivity. Satellite communication. What is it? It refers to any communication link that involves the use of artificial satellites in its propagation path. Example: GSAT 10 communication satellite, INSAT 3A, etc. in India. SATCOM has two main components. Ground segment consists of fixed or mobile transmission reception equipment. Space segment, the satellite itself. Advantages of satellite communication: cheaper for long distances, can connect remote locations, expand reach of telecom operators used in global communication. Satellite internet. Satellite internet services is a wireless internet connection which uses satellites in space to get an internal signal from internet service provider ISP to users. Satellite based connectivity is possible using geostationary, medium and low earth orbit satellites. It is different from satellite televisions as internet signals go both ways with a much greater amount of bandwidth to move all that data. Broadband signal is sent and received to a satellite in space rather than using an underground copper or fiber network. Genome sequencing. In recently published research, an international term described the first ever sequencing of a complete human genome. In a recently published research, an international team described the first ever sequencing of a complete human genome. More about news. Previous effort of sequencing was incomplete as DNA sequencing technologies could not read about 8% of the genome. Genome sequencing. Genome sequencing means deciphering the order of DNA nucleotides or bases in a genome, that is, the order of adenine, cytosine, guanines, and thymine that make up an organism's DNA. Genome. A genome is an organism's complete set of DNA. It includes all chromosomes which houses DNA and genes. Specific sections of DNA. Human genome contains about 3 billion base pairs. Applications of genome sequencing: greater understanding of evolution and biology, identifying genome causes of rare diseases, neurodegenerative conditions, cancers, etc. Identifying genetic mutations in a virus, its evolution and spread. Genetic modification, GM technology. GM technology is direct manipulation of the DNA of many organisms, including plants, bacteria, and animals, to alter the desired characteristics. Major approaches to genome editing: clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, associated protein 9 CAS9, homing endonucleases or meganucleases, site directed nucleus, laws, acts, and procedures governing genome editing in India, Biological Diversity Act 2006, Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1947, Seed Act 1968, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights 2009, Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, Disaster Management Act 2005. Genome editing, genetically modified crops, Department of Biotechnology. About an attached office of Ministry of Science and Technology and is a nodal agency supporting research in life sciences and promote large scale use of biotechnology. Mandate, support R&D and manufacturing in biology, promote university and industry interaction, evolve biosafety guidelines, manufacture and application of cell based vaccines. Other key information, announced first national biotechnology development strategy in 2007, National Biotechnology Development Strategy 2015 to 2020, National Biotechnology Development Strategy 2021 to 2025. Recently, the Department of Biotechnology issued guidelines for safety assessment of genome edited plants 2002, easing norms for research into genetically modified crops. More on news. Guidelines exempts genome edited plants falling under the categories of site directed nucleus SDN1 and SDN2 from manufacture, use, import, export, and storage of hazardous microorganisms, genetically engineered organisms or cells, rules 1989 under the Environment Protection Act 1986. It is based on an earlier exemption by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to avoid a long process for approval of GM crops through GEAC. Guidelines for Safety Assessment of Genome Edited Plants 2022. AIM provides regulatory framework and scientific guidance on data requirement in context of research and development of genome edited plant. Scope of guidelines limited to plants and products thereof developed using genome editing techniques employing site directed nucleases. Advantages of GM crops: increase productivity and prevents crop loss, food security, enhanced nutritional quality, maintain soil fertility. Concerns related to GM crops: environmental, genetic contamination, created superweeds, etc. Economic, false claims about yield, biosafety of human and animal health, ethical, excessive corporate dominance, etc. Do you know BT cotton is a GM crop? BT cotton is a GM crop, genetically modified crop. In this a gene from soil bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis is used to protect a plant from pest attack. It is only a GM crop approved for commercial cultivation in 2002 in India. Various bodies on GM crop regulation. Recombinant DNA Advisory Committee RDAC monitors the development in biotechnology at national and international levels. It functions in DBT. Institutional Biosafety Committee IBSC approves low risk experiments and ensures adherence to prescribed safety guidelines. It functions from DBT. Review Committee on Genetic Manipulation reviews all ongoing projects involving high risk and controlled field experiments. It functions from DBT. Space tourism. ISRO is developing capabilities towards space tourism through the demonstration of human space flight capability to low Earth orbit LEO. About space tourism, a segment of space travel that allows people to travel to space for recreational, leisure, or business purposes. Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic, and Elon Musk's SpaceX are some of the companies that have entered space tourism types orbital, suborbital, and lunar moon tourism. Definition of space tourist. No international space law has defined. Existing space treaties such are only applicable to astronauts, envoys of mankind, or personnel of a spacecraft. Concerns related to space tourism: impact on human health, impact on the environment, passenger liability. International treaties are bereft of the provisions to handle the liability of private entities in space and high cost. One Health. Recently, four multilateral agencies have launched a One Health Joint Plan of Action 2022 to 2026 OHJPA. OH means OH One Health, JPA means Joint Plan Action. One Health Joint Plan of Action. About One Health Joint Plan of Action launched by quadripartite comprising United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, UN Environment Program, World Health Organization, World Health Organization for Animal Health. Mitigating the health challenges at global, regional, and country levels by creating framework and integrating systems and capacity to collectively prevent health threats. Steps taken in India to implement One Health approach. One Health Support Unit OHSU by Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying to develop a national One Health framework. The framework is aimed at improving national and state level resource allocation and policy ecosystem of zoonotic diseases. Under it, the pilot projects are being implemented in states like Uttarakhand and Karnataka. National Mission on Biodiversity and Human Well-being, launched by Prime Minister's Science Technology and Innovation Advisory Council. One Health Project by Department of Biotechnology to carry out surveillance of zoonotic as well as transboundary pathogens in India. Chief of Defence Staff. Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan appointed next Chief of Defence Staff. Chief of Defence Staff CDS about approved in 2019, the head of Army, Navy and Air Force, and is a 4-star military officer. Eligibility: any serving or retired Lieutenant General, Air Marshal and Vice Admiral under the age of 62 years. Proposed by Kargil Review Committee 2000, Naresh Chandra Committee on Defence and Security 2011 and Shekhar Committee 2016. Tenure: central government may extend tenure to maximum of 65 years. Roles and powers of CDS. Heads Department of Military Affairs within Ministry of Defence and acts as its secretary. Permanent chairman of existing chiefs of staff committee. Member of Defence Acquisition Council and Defence Planning Committee. Principal military advisor to Defence Minister and military advisor to Nuclear Command Authority. GSAT-7 series satellites. Indian Army reportedly tested the operational readiness of its satellite-based systems deployed across the country under Operation Skylight. More on news. Unlike the Indian Air Force and the Navy, the Army currently does not have a dedicated satellite. Currently, the Army is using 30% of the communication capabilities of the GSAT-7A. Defence Acquisition Council has cleared an Army proposal for a GSAT-7B satellite. About GSAT-7 satellites. GSAT-7 satellites are advanced satellites developed by ISRO to meet the communication needs of the defence services. GSAT-7 satellite launched in 2013 is mainly used by the Indian Navy for its communication needs, and it helps the Navy to secure a secure real-time communication link. GSAT-7A, launched in 2018, helps in boosting the connectivity between the ground radar stations, air bases and the airborne early warning and control